Alright, I took some time off, get some stuff done around the house for the holidays. We're about to get back at it again this week. I just want to go over a few things with thermals. One on focusing. You see this tree right in front of me? See how it's showing all hot, right? Just white hot. Now I'm going to focus past it. Actually, I'll focus right on it. You see how the detail, how much more detail you see. You can actually see the bark, but it also changes the color. It's now not necessarily showing white hot. You're seeing all the grays, a lot of gray now, a lot more than if I focus past it. Your focus on your thermal camera plays a big part on how different things look at different distances. So if you're not, let's say there's a Sasquatch and it is standing, let's say right here at that, looks like a pine tree. Now everything around it, not that hot. Focus in more and you see the tree next to it. Now it's a lot hotter looking. The one to the right, that smaller one. So your focus is actually going to change kind of what the color palette for the heat signature is going to be. So if you're not focused right in on the area, that's why distance is extremely important after making a video and trying to figure out what things look like, why it's so important to try to find your distances, because it just gives you it helps you kind of find your focal point and what things should and should not look like. Another thing, my dog, notice how gray or black all his hair is. That right there where his arm is, where the crosshairs are, that's about what the Sasquatch hair looks like, is that gray, toned down gray look. Now, the big difference is the eyes. On most of your animals, a few of them, like pigs at distance, their eyes don't show very hot. But the main difference I've noticed is the pattern is flip-flopped. Like it would look more... See if I can change it while I'm doing it. Gunner. See, now I'm on black hot and you can't see his eyes at all. So the palette you're in is going to change a lot of that too, and your focal point again. Now on the Sasquatch, we've noticed that their eyes are not going to show white hot like that. Their face shows white hot, but not their eyes. Another thing I've noticed is at night, I've caught them 3 different times. 2 of the times, 99.9% sure it was them. Another time, I'm about 75% sure it was them. And the one thing I noticed is they hide their body, but their face is sticking out. So start looking for faces. Don't be looking for... it's obvious. If you find a big, huge heat signature, obviously look at it. But also remember, they're still, even at night, they hide their bodies. A lot of times, from what I've noticed, they still hide their bodies. But I don't think they're as careful. And they also do not seem to possess the ability to stay still for very long at all. You hear a lot of people that in their reports where they're shaking back and forth. They're moving from one foot to the other like they're changing their weight. And I think that's just something that's built into them. They're constantly ready to move. And for what I've noticed, the stillest I've ever seen them is for those few seconds on the really good thermal video I caught. he still wasn't super, super still. He moved a lot. So what I've started to do is to look for faces, and also I don't spend a lot of time on hot objects I can't identify if they don't move. Like, you may zoom in and find this stump right there. And now, it's obviously, I know it's a stump, but you're looking at it, and if you don't have a tripod, you don't have it on a tripod, you're going to be moving a little bit. But just look at it for 30, 45 seconds, even a minute if you need to. And if it doesn't move on to something else. Unless they're super close, I think they're always going to be moving at least a little bit. Because they don't realize yet that we've got this capability. They're still going based on what their vision picks up. If they know that they can hang out in the woods and they can be looking at their buddy, and their buddy's, moving a little bit, but they can't see them because they're behind bushes, odds are they think that's the way we are, that we're not going to be able to see them if they're behind bushes. I've seen one walk up and keep its entire upper body pretty much. That's Santa Claus. That actually freaked me out the other day when I walked out of the door. Anyway, I've seen them expose their entire upper body, but their lower half of the body they kept behind a boulder, and they were at 75 yards away. They're still hiding, but they still have something sticking out. I don't believe they're as careful at night because they do not know we have these capabilities. These are just a few things I've noticed. I can't say that no Sasquatch is going to stay still for 5 minutes. I can't say that. Maybe they do. But from what I've seen, they had this tendency to constantly at least be moving a little bit. So that may help a little bit. And look for faces. If you're not getting big heat signatures, pay attention to small ones. And for what I've seen, their faces are hot, but they are not super duper hot. They're off-white to gray almost. And I think it's just simply the amount of hair that they have. And their eyes are going to show up dark from what I have seen and what other people have seen. But that's pretty much it. We'll be getting back at it here pretty soon. See y'all later.